Hey, it's Denise, and welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here, big old welcome. Thank you for coming and checking out my videos. Please subscribe. Check out my other videos. I have several playlists depending on what kind of things interest you. Clearly gardening interests you, or you wouldn't be watching this one. But if you've been here before, welcome back. I always love to see you. And I appreciate you coming and watching the content that I put up. So, if I have not already stressed over however long I've been doing this, how wonderful I think Baker Creek is. They are an heirloom seed company. This is the whole seed catalog for this year. Now you might be saying, okay, we all get tons of those seed catalogs. It's that time of year. Take a look at this one. Unless you ordered it, I don't just mean you requested a free catalog, because yes, they send free catalogs, but this one is, this is more like a book than a catalog. I mean, yes, it's a catalog. Definitely is a catalog, lists all the things, but it's full of articles and stories and information, and you pay $10 a couple months ago when they were taking the orders to order one of these, but then you're credited that off of your next purchase, I believe, is how it works. Because honestly, they could not afford to print up and just send these out to people who weren't serious about ordering. You know, they send out a regular catalog like everybody else does, but to get this glorious, I mean, like, I love this book. I sit and peruse this like, you know, like some people would if their favorite fashion magazine just arrived. I lovingly go through it page by page, and I made it to, yes, I am one of those people who dog ear bends the end of the pages. I know. To other book lovers, I am a book lover, but there some book lovers would, like, you know, kick me out of the book lover club for doing that. It's like just seen as, you know, completely wrong. You don't dog ear a book. But how far did I get? I think I got past ground cherries. There it is. Okay. So I made it to marigolds. Do you see what I mean about this catalog? I could just look at this all day throughout the winter. Just the pictures make me happy, okay? The pictures alone of all the glorious different heirloom plants, both food and flowers that they have, just looking at them makes me happy. So yeah, you can see by my little bent page, I made it as far as marigolds. And then what happens next? Yes, you jump on the computer and make an order if you're me. So, what did I get in my most recent order from the wonderful folks at Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds? Their website is rareseeds.com. And as always, they threw in a free seed with my order, which they gave me this early purple Vienna kohlrabi. Now, I've never grown kohlrabi before. I did order some seeds. I don't remember which seed company I ordered them from, but I know I did recently, in the last couple of months, order kohlrabi to give it a try this coming year. I figure, you know, why not? Who knows what we're going to be doing this summer? Who knows? So, might have lots of gardening time on my hands. And I've never grown kohlrabi, and that one says it's early, and I have a short growing season here, so it would be perfect for me. Now here we have, I decided to try Brussels sprouts. Now I remember as a child being horrified by the disgusting things as I considered them, but I also didn't eat cabbage as a child. Now as an adult I ate cabbage. I am told that Brussels sprouts are basically little cabbages, and that the taste is very similar. And I hope that's true, because I ordered 2 varieties. Both of these said that they were relatively easy for beginners to grow. So This is just, I can't read it. Normally I can read things backwards. I don't have my glasses on, so it's like double squinting. Groninger is the variety. So these look kind of like what I think of as your sort of standard Brussels sprouts. Then we have these little lovelies, red rhubarb Brussels sprouts. So like little purplish red Brussels sprouts, kind of like, you know how you have little purplish red cabbages, I'm thinking, right? And they say the more color variety in your vegetables, probably the more of the phytonutrients you're getting. So if you have reds and blues and oranges and yellows and, you know, in addition to your greens, all the better. As soon as I clicked onto the home page of the website, this was there, and I had to have it. Look at this. It is a variety of coneflower, of echinacea, called Green Twister. I just think it's gorgeous. I love echinacea anyway. People use it medicinally. You can use it in teas. You can use it in like hand lotions and things. So the echinacea has been used for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And, but I just saw this color and I was like, I must have that. So as much as I was going to try to get by without the granny glasses, because, you know, I hate them. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's better than not being able to see. What does it say about these? Does it give us any hint of anything different? Nope, it just says that they're echinacea, and that they are butterflies, birds, bees love these drought-tolerant, easy-to-grow perennials, medicinal benefits with good looks to boot. And it says they sprout in about 15 days, ideal temperature of 60 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Sow them at just about 1/8 of an inch. Space the plants 8 to 10 inches apart. Yes, they are frost hardy, and they need a minimum of 4 to 12 hours of sunlight. So, again, just like I said, I went on the, you know, the homepage of the website and saw this and was like, I must have that. I have other varieties of echinacea growing, and, you know, more standard, like a purple and more of a pinkish purple. But I saw this and I was like, I've got to give that a try. Absolutely have got to give that a try. It says it's a minimum of 15 seeds. Now, it was $5 for 15 seeds. I believe that's because it's a new variety. You can double check on the website, but I believe that this was a new variety this year for them. So that's probably why it was a little pricier. But if I can get, you know, out of 15 seeds, if I get 10 or 12 plants, I would be thrilled. So, really looking forward to these. Now these, the Chinese python snake beans, and yes, that is a fence you see them growing on. These beans get like over 6 feet long, although they say to eat them at like 18 inches to, I think it was 24 inches, like around that range. If you want them to be that you could use them like a green bean or a summer squash, like a zucchini at that point. If you let them get much bigger than that, then you would cook them more, you know, like a slightly tougher vegetable. But yeah, last year, anytime I checked, these were sold out. It's apparently something that they really just can't even keep in stock because people love them. So when I saw that they had them in stock, I grabbed a pack. And again, this is, it's only 5 seeds, and it was $3 for the packet, which, yes, that's pricey for seeds, but again, I was just dying to try these. Let's see, sprouts in 5 to 8 days. Ideal temperature 75 to 95. Seed depth an inch. Plant 2 feet apart. Not frost hardy. And 8 to 12 hours of sunlight. Grows up to 60 inches long, so that'd be 5 feet long. As it matures, develops a bright green color and a thin layer of wax on the skin. When harvested, this is what I was kind of telling you, when harvested at 12 to 18 inches long, it can be used like green beans or summer squash. I think if you go in here and or on the website, they tell you like how to cook it if you let it get older than that. Or, of course, if you want to save seeds from it, you would let it really get older and, you know, kind of dry out, get past eating stage so that you can save seed from it for next year. Did I show you the backs of any of the packages? Just again, you know, that you can see it's Baker Creek Heirloom seeds, and that rareseeds.com is their website. But yeah, I just thought these look like so much fun, and I can just see them hanging off a trellis. I think they would be awesome. So even if I don't eat them and I just let them grow to a ridiculous size, because I bought other beans, as I'll show you. I like bush beans. I don't want to climb all over a ladder to get to my beans. So I tend, as far as green beans, I tend to go for bush bean varieties. And so I can just see putting those on a trellis and just letting them go wild. I also decided I was going to, like I said, tried the Brussels sprouts, decided I was going to try some cabbage this year. So I went for this sort of fancy looking and fancy sounding, and now watch me butcher the name completely, Violacio di Verona. Did I sound the least bit Italian? I'm assuming it's an Italian name. It is a cabbage that's, it looks like it's mostly green, but with purple veining and some purple on the leaves. And, let's see. Cabbages will tolerate a light frost, so you can keep growing them into pretty cool weather. I mean, people grow these into the definitely through the fall and into some pretty cold weather. And it says that these are pretty heat tolerant as well, which is good because some cabbages really just will bolt right away if you try to grow them when it's too hot. Now this is a minimum of 300 seeds for $3. So, you know, unlike those ones that were like, I think those were brand new this year, you know, the echinacea that I showed you, and those python beans that they just really can't keep in stock because everyone wants them. These were more, you know, reasonably, you know, priced, 300 seeds for $3 for a heirloom variety of cabbage that I think is really pretty, and I'm hoping pretty might entice my son to eat it if it's a little more colorful and not just green. Back to we were talking about beans. I went with 2 varieties of bush beans. I already have green, well, they're Blue Lake bush beans, but they're a green bean. So I went with these, does that say red Swan? Now I'm too far from the monitor to have the glasses on and be able to see. You can't win. Once you need reading glasses, you can't win. So, red Swan, bush variety. They look beautiful. They're that sort of almost magenta pinkish red, and it looks like the flowers are pink too. So I think the plant's gonna be attractive while it's growing, in addition to providing green beans. And I like the beans that are a different color because they're just easier to spot and to pick them before they grow too big and they're, you know, then get a little weird to eat. Because like when you grow green beans, they can just get lost in the green foliage around them. Beans this color are really going to stand out against the green leaves, and it's going to be much easier to spot them and keep up with picking them. So I'm thinking, just my little plan here, I'm thinking that my stacking green stalk garden, which is like a 5-tiered stacked garden, it has 30 pockets. I'm thinking of planting that in beans this year. So like I told you, I already have the Blue Lake, which are essentially a standard green bean. They're a bush variety. I now have these red bush variety. And then, just because I like colorful things, we then move into purple teepee, which is also a bush variety. So, yeah, I'm thinking the green stalk garden might be the green bean garden this year. And between regular green and those reddish pink and these purple, I think it'll make a really nice combination of colors. And, you know, and you can see the flowers are purple, so I think, again, it'll make a nice presentation while it's growing. Some people worry that a vegetable garden is not attractive, or go so far as to call it unsightly in, you know, residential neighborhoods. Now, to call my area a residential neighborhood is kind of a little bit of a joke. It's a very rural neighborhood. There are horses grazing, okay? There are horses grazing around the house, so there are piles of horse poop. How can you call a vegetable garden unsightly when you have to step over piles of horse poop to get to it? I'm just saying. So, if you're someone who wants your vegetable garden to be lovely, I think going with something that's going to have some colorful flowers is good. And as I've mentioned probably in every video where I talk about gardening, you always want to throw some flowers in there anyway, you know, things that are going to flower early, because you want to get the pollinators used to stopping at your garden. You want to be on their daily route of places they go, so by the time your vegetables are flowering, the pollinators are already used to stopping at your garden every day. This variety of carrot supposedly is very, I'm trying to get the glare off it for you, is supposedly like a very sweet tasting, and it's also, how was that for grammar? It's supposed to be a very sweet tasting. Sometimes I just interrupt my own self without any help whatsoever. It's supposed to be a very sweet tasting orange carrot, and it's also not the longest, so it doesn't need super loose, deep soil. I don't have a way of tilling. My carrots will actually probably be grown in containers, so at least in that way I have control over it. But, you know, I'm not, they had, in this wonderful book, they have carrots that are like, you know, like 2 feet long. Well, I don't have containers that are that big, so, you know, it makes sense to grow a shorter carrot in a container. Just saying. I only made a very half-hearted attempt at one amaranth plant indoors this year, and it just kind of grew to about 1 foot tall and then sat there. It never really flowered or did anything, but I just don't think it was meant to be trying to grow indoors in a hall. So I feel like I should give amaranth a real chance, and this particular variety, they're giving part of the proceeds to a charity. So they have several varieties of amaranth, but I went for this one because, it, like I said, it's helping to support a charity, an agriculture related charity. And the glasses. The glasses, yeah, it's a minimum of 100 seeds, and it was $3. So even though it's supporting a charity, it's still very reasonably priced, because can you imagine 100 amaranth plants? That would be a lot. I mean, unless you're like a commercial farmer, that's an awful lot of plants. Last but certainly not least, this I had seen before and it was out of stock, and so I was really happy to see that they had it back, and that is the lemon bee balm. Bee balm is also known as Monarda. It comes in different colors. I think I've usually seen it in more of a reddish orange color, and so when I saw this variety, I thought, yes, I would very much like to grow that. So I ordered a pack of this when I saw that it was back in, and I'm, now this is, I believe, perennial in my zone. Why do I bother taking them off? I should just deal with the fact that the screen is blurry. Yeah, no, this will not be for frost hardy in my area, but there are 100 seeds for $2.50. And let's see. It does say that if you, after they flower, if you cut them back after flowering, that they will, as long as you have enough time before your frost, that it encourages reblooming so that you can get them to bloom twice if you have a long enough season. And lemon balm is also something that people use in teas, I know. It says annual lemon-flavored variety, superb tea plant, striking pink-purple flowers, beautiful and tasty. So, yeah, this is definitely one that you could grow and dry and use it in a tea. Now, of course, anytime I say that, please keep in mind, I'm not your doctor. I'm not a professional, medical person. Well, I'm a retired nurse. But I'm not someone who prescribes things. And, obviously, you know your own allergies and intolerances. So use common sense when it comes to using medicinal herbs and plants. I personally like a good herbal tea. Not everyone does. Now, if just for a moment more, we can just drool over this catalog. If you're wondering, is it worth paying for the catalog? I can just tell you that even if I didn't order any seeds, even if for some reason I was like, you know what, I'm not going to grow anything for the next 5 years and I have no reason to order a single seed, I would still order this catalog. Because you get so much information. Here, look, like these are and the family that runs, Baker Creek is a family-run business. They tell you about what's going on with the family. They travel all over the world to find different varieties of heirlooms that maybe have been lost to the United States or never made their way to the United States. They find heirloom varieties in Asia, in Africa, perhaps they're grown on one small island somewhere in the world and really not known anywhere else. And they will then grow them on their farm, see how they do, and then grow enough of them to save seed. And Baker Creek also works with other farmers to actually be seed farmers for them. They get into that. Again, that's one of the things you learn if you order the catalog, the whole catalog. But there's those I was saying about the giant carrots. Like around here with our heavy soil, I wouldn't even attempt to put that in the ground because they wouldn't stand a chance. But if you lived, I guess, somewhere with really loose or very, very well tilled and lightened soil, look at those carrots. And then again, like a whole story about them. So, to me, this is what I mean when I was saying it's not just like a catalog. It's not just, here's the plant, here's how much it costs, this is the item number. The average, it's all kinds of, information about, why you might want to grow heirlooms versus, they do not sell any GMO seeds. I should have said that right up front. I probably mentioned it about them in previous videos, but I didn't in this one yet. All of their seeds are non-GMO. It talks about growing heirlooms. It talks about the fact that, unfortunately, usually they have lots of learning opportunities and gatherings and things at their facility, but unfortunately, they had to cancel things this summer. So they just kind of were talking a little bit about that. So it's kind of like a whole newsletter of what's going on there, upcoming events, which right now everybody knows it's kind of dicey. We're not sure when we'll be able to plan for, being able to go to those kind of events. Hopefully soon. It talks about, I don't want to be, I'm sure, it talks about the people who work for them. It talks about other organizations that they work with. Look here, it's telling you different things that they're hiring people for. Here, did you think I'd be showing you jobs. Look at that. It's like, you know, letting you know that people they're looking for on their team in terms of the different aspects of what they do. And again, it's not just a seed catalog. It is so much more. So even if you use it for recreational reading like I do all winter when everything is dead and freezing outside here in the Adirondacks, I'm telling you, it's wonderful, and you'll learn so much stuff. It is so, like, not just a catalog. They really put so much information in here. So enough of me blathering about. I'll show you the back cover too. Look, that's a loofah, kind of showing it from young plant to mature to the dried sponge at the end. So yes, getting this in the mail is a giant treat each year. And like I said, I only made it to marigolds and placed this order. As I make it past marigolds, I'm not making any promises as to that there might not be another order. There were a few things I wanted that they were out of stock, and I did, you know, click on that, please notify me when it comes back in stock. So if those things come back in stock, I will probably order them, and of course, you know, if you're ordering, you might as well order a few more, especially if I find something past, you know, the marigold section. So those were my new seeds. That is the wonderful whole seed catalog from Baker Creek for 2021. If you can get your hands on one, I strongly suggest you do. At this point, they may have already mailed out all of them, but they may still have some. I'm not sure. If you have a gardening friend or neighbor, you can ask them. You know, if they're big in heirlooms, they may have it, and they may be nice and share it with you. But again, just check them out. I buy from them every year. Customer service is wonderful. The selection just pretty much blows away almost anyone out there. And with the seed shortage going on, they are doing, I think, better than any place in terms of restocking often and letting you know that they've restocked, especially if, like I said, they have that option. If something that you're looking at is out of stock, they have that option of clicking on there that you want to be notified when it comes back in stock. And chances are, if that came back in stock, probably plenty of other things did too. So, you know, that way you're kind of getting updated of when they're getting restocks, and you know to take a look and place an order. So that's what I would recommend. Anyway, I hope you found this informative. I'm not even going to pretend like, oh, gee, this is my first time checking out this company. No, like I said, I buy from them every year. They're wonderful. And no, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. Just feel like I should say that when I'm giving like total, absolute praise to something. And I hate seeing the glare in my own glasses. But yeah, so that is what I got from Baker Creek. And I will be enjoying this catalog / book all winter while I wait for it to green up again outside. Check out my videos where I recently showed you the progress that my little zinnias seedlings, they're tiny. They're getting bigger every day. I've got six little zinnia seedlings coming up in my arrow garden in the hallway. So I'm hoping to have some color and sunshine there in my hall during the winter if my zinnias bloom. And that's it. Let me know if you're doing your seed shopping and your garden planning. I feel like as soon as the seed catalogs start coming, the mind starts working and thinking about what I want to grow in the spring. It's like, I think it's part of my coping mechanism for getting through winter while there is no green outside. It's planning for the green that will be there. And with the indoor gardens, you know, with the hydroponic stuff, keeping a little bit of green in there. Plus, I do have a couple. I feel like they're like not necessarily thriving. It's one of those, I haven't killed it yet, but they're not thriving. I have 2 citrus in that category and 2 dragon fruit, which are like cactus in that category. They're hanging in there. They're growing slowly. Probably someone who knows more about cactus and citrus, because living in New York State, those things don't grow outside. Yeah, so I'm just winging it, growing them inside with grow lights over them. I've kept them alive for 2 years so far, so I feel like that is an accomplishment. So they haven't completely died. Anyway, yeah, check out my other videos. Recently, I've basically just talked about the AeroGarden, what's going on, planting the zinnias, and then a little progress. But you can check out my other videos as well. Please like, subscribe, share. It does so much good for a young YouTube channel when people share videos. It really does. So I would truly appreciate if you have gardening friends, if you would share. Maybe they would enjoy ordering from Baker Creek. And if you are looking for a place to try to find some seeds for your spring garden, I would definitely check out rareseeds.com. That's their website. So like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the videos, tell me in the comments what you're doing as far as planning or dreaming. Sometimes we have to dream before we even plan for our next steps in life. Let me know what you're planning or dreaming for your next gardening endeavors. And have a great day, and as always, thank you for taking the time to watch.